Some power plants are so massive, they can just supply electricity to entire countries. So for today's video, we're going to take a look at 15 of the biggest power plants in the world. Starting with number 15, the Kashiwazaki-Kariwa Nuclear Power Plant. The Kashiwazaki-Kariwa Nuclear Power Plant in Niigata Prefecture, along Japan's west coast, is one of the largest nuclear power facilities in the world in terms of installed capacity. It's built and operated by the Tokyo Electric Power Company. This complex consists of 7 reactors spread across a coastal site that covers roughly 4 square kilometers. Together, these reactors are capable of producing around 7,900 megawatts of electricity. Construction began in the late 1970s, with the first reactor entering service in 1985. Over the following 2 decades, additional units were added, culminating in all 7 reactors becoming operational by 1997. Now, the reactors include a mix of boiling water reactor designs, which use nuclear fission to heat the water and produce steam that drives the turbines. And its location on the Sea of Japan allows it access to abundant cooling water, which is of course a requirement for nuclear plants. However, this location also puts the plant in a seismically active region. In 2007, the Niigata Chuetsu Oki earthquake struck the area, causing minor damage leading to temporary shutdowns. While the plant was able to resume operations afterwards, Japan's 2011 Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster brought stricter regulatory oversight. Since then, the plant's faced extended shutdowns for safety reviews. TEPCO has worked to bring the reactors back online in compliance with Japan's updated safety standards, but the process has been gradual, with approvals required from both national regulators and local governments. The plant's entire history reflects the challenges facing nuclear power in Japan, balancing large-scale, low-carbon electricity production with public concerns over safety in a country highly prone to earthquakes. Despite the challenges, though, the size and design of this complex make it a benchmark in nuclear engineering. It shows both the scale at which nuclear energy can be deployed and the complexity of maintaining public trust and operational readiness in a post-Fukushima era. Number 14, the Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges Dam, spanning the Yangtze River in Hubei Province, is the largest power generating facility in the world by installed capacity. This massive hydroelectric project has a total generating capacity of over 22,000 megawatts, produced by 32 main turbines and 2 smaller generators used for station service. Construction began in 1994 and it took more than 15 years to complete, with the final generator coming online in 2012. The dam stretches for about 2,300 meters across the river and stands 181 meters high. Its reservoir extends upstream for about 600 kilometers, creating one of the largest artificial lakes on Earth. Now, the primary goal of this project was to produce renewable electricity on an unprecedented scale, while also improving flood control and enabling larger ships to navigate the Yangtze. Its annual power output averages between 80 and 100 terawatt hours, supplying electricity to several provinces and major cities including Shanghai. The creation of that reservoir required the relocation of more than 1.2 million people from towns and villages that were eventually submerged. Critics have raised concerns about changes to the river's ecosystem, sediment buildup, and the long-term impact on fish. But from an operational standpoint, the dam's turbines harness the river's flow to produce clean electricity without burning any fossil fuels. It plays a key role in flood management too, as operators can control the water release to mitigate downstream flooding during heavy rain. In addition to its role as a power generator, it's also an important transportation hub. A ship lift and a 5-stage ship lock system allow large cargo vessels to bypass the dam, which helps improve trade and logistics along the Yangtze. At the same time, it shows the complex trade-offs between large-scale engineering, environmental stewardship, and social impact. Its contribution to China's power grid is immense, and it remains one of the most recognized projects in the world. Number 13, the Itaipu Dam. The Itaipu Dam, located on the Paraná River, forms a natural border between Brazil and Paraguay. The facility is a binational project. It means it's jointly owned and operated by the 2 countries. Construction began in 1975 after years of negotiations between the two governments, and the site was eventually chosen for its geography. The Paraná River narrows significantly at this location, which creates favorable conditions for damming and power generation. Building it required a massive excavation and the diversion of the river through channels, so the main structure could be built. By the time construction was completed in 1984, Itaipu was the largest hydroelectric project in the world. The dam stretches for about 8,000 meters in length and reaches a maximum height of 196 meters. It contains 20 generating units, each with a capacity of 700 megawatts, giving the plant a total installed capacity of about 14,000 megawatts. At its peak output, it supplies roughly 75% of Paraguay's electricity and about 10% of Brazil's. One remarkable statistic is its historical electricity production record. In 2016, the plant generated 103 terawatt-hours of electricity in a single year. That was a world record for any hydroelectric facility at the time. The project did have some impact beyond energy production, though. It led to the displacement of tens of thousands of people and the flooding of the Guaira Falls, a natural wonder that was permanently submerged by the reservoir. Despite the issues, though, it's a cornerstone of renewable energy in South America and operates under a treaty that divides electricity output equally between Brazil and Paraguay, with Paraguay selling much of its unused share back to Brazil. Number 12. The Xiluodu Hydroelectric Power Station. The Xiluodu Hydroelectric Power Station is one of China's largest plants. It's located on the Jinsha River, which is a major tributary of the Yangtze. It straddles the border between Sichuan and Yunnan provinces, and it plays a major role in China's push to expand renewable energy. Construction began in 2005, and the project took nearly a decade. The first generator started operating in 2013, with the final unit coming online in 2014. Its total installed capacity is about 13,800 megawatts, making it the third largest hydroelectric facility in the world after the Three Gorges. The dam is a double curvature arch design. It stands about 285 meters tall and spans 700 meters across the Jinsha River. The project serves multiple purposes: generating electricity, controlling floods, and improving navigation along the river. And on average, it produces more than 55 terawatt-hours of electricity annually, supplying power to several of China's most industrialized regions, including Guangdong and Shanghai. Like some of the other large hydroelectric projects, this one's faced some criticism over social impact. The creation of the reservoir required the relocation of more than 180,000 people. There have also been concerns about the long-term effects on river ecology, sediment flow, and fish populations. Nevertheless, the station plays a crucial role in reducing China's reliance on coal-fired power plants. This project does also incorporate modern safety standards and monitoring systems, which include real-time seismic sensors to detect any potential risk. With its combination of engineering complexity, massive output, and strategic importance, this hydroelectric power station is one of China's most significant renewable energy achievements. Number 11. The Belo Monte Dam. The Belo Monte Dam is one of the largest power plants in the world, and it's located in the state of Pará in Brazil. It is the biggest entirely Brazilian-built hydropower facility and the second largest in the country after Itaipu. The dam is designed with an installed capacity of about 11,200 megawatts, though its actual average output is significantly lower due to seasonal variations. The whole project was first proposed in the 1970s, but it faced decades of delays due to environmental, social, and legal challenges. Construction eventually began in 2011, led by the consortium Norte Energia, and the plant began operations in 2016. The design includes a main dam, several auxiliary dams, 2 reservoirs, and 2 main powerhouses, with 18 generating units in total. One cool defining feature is that it operates on a run-of-the-river plant, meaning its reservoir is relatively small compared to its generating capacity. This design was chosen to reduce the amount of land that was flooded, which limited the reservoir's area to about 500 square kilometers, large but considerably smaller than many other hydro projects of similar capacity. The project has been controversial, of course, from the beginning. Indigenous groups, environmental organizations, and human rights advocates have raised concerns about the displacement of communities, loss of biodiversity, and the alteration of the natural flow of the river. Thousands of people were relocated, and there have been ongoing debates about the dam's effect on fisheries and aquatic systems. Despite the issues, though, Belo Monte has become a major contributor to Brazil's energy mix, supplying electricity to millions, particularly in the country's more industrialized southeast, and also represents a significant engineering achievement. Number 10. The Guri Dam. The Guri Dam, officially known as the Simon Bolivar hydroelectric power plant, is one of the largest projects in the world. It's located on the Coronai River in the Bolivar state of Venezuela, and its installed capacity of around 10,200 megawatts. Construction of the dam happened in two main phases. The first stage was completed in 1978, and the second stage, which expanded, was finished in 1986. The dam goes for about 7,400 meters across the river and rises about 162 meters high, creating a massive reservoir known as the Guri Reservoir. This contains roughly 4,200 square kilometers at full capacity, making it one of the largest man-made lakes on the planet. For decades, it supplied the majority of Venezuela's electricity. Estimates range from about 60 to 80%, depending on demand and hydrological conditions. Extended droughts, though, can significantly reduce the water levels, which lowers the plant's ability to generate electricity. In addition to that role, it helps regulate the flow of the river, which is a major tributary of the Orinoco. This project was part of the broader plans to harness Venezuela's hydropower potential, given the country's numerous rivers and high rainfall in the highlands. Large areas of forest and habitat were flooded and thousands of people were displaced, and while these effects occurred decades ago, the long-term ecological changes remain. But despite the challenges, the Guri Dam remains a symbol of Venezuelan engineering capacity, and it's a key part of its energy infrastructure. Number 9. The Wudongde Hydropower Station. The Wudongde Hydropower Station is one of China's most recently completed mega dams. Sitting on the Jinsha River, the upper course of the Yangtze, it straddles the border between Sichuan and Yunnan provinces, and this plant has a total capacity of 10,200 megawatts, produced by 12 generating units, which are each rated at 850 megawatts. The construction of it began in 2015, led by the China Three Gorges Corporation. That's the same state-owned enterprise that developed the Three Gorges Dam. It was completed in stages, with the first units coming online in June of 2020 and full operation achieved by June of 2021. The dam itself is a double curvature arch design, which rises about 240 meters above the riverbed and goes for about 700 meters in length. That kind of design minimizes the volume of concrete that's needed while maintaining structural strength to withstand any intense pressure from the river. Wudongde's reservoir has a relatively small surface area compared to other dams of similar capacity, covering about 370 square kilometers. This was an intentional choice to reduce the environmental and social impact, though more than 20,000 people were still relocated to make way for the project. The plant's annual average generation is expected to be over 38 terawatt-hours. It's going to play a central role in China's broader hydropower strategy, which aims to balance the variability of wind and solar generation with the consistent output of large-scale hydro. However, the Chinese government views it as essential for reducing coal dependency and lowering carbon emissions. With its advanced engineering, Wudongde represents the next generation of mega hydropower in Japan. Number 8. The Tucuruí Dam. The Tucuruí Dam in Brazil, located on the Tocantins River in the state of Para. This facility has an installed capacity of 8,300 megawatts, generated by 25 turbines. The first stage of the dam was completed in 1984, and a second stage expansion, adding more generation, was completed by 2007. The dam is a concrete gravity design which goes for about 6,900 meters in length and stands about 78 meters high. It creates the Tucuruí Reservoir, which covers roughly 2,800 square kilometers at full capacity. The plant was built primarily to supply electricity to energy-intensive industries like aluminum smelting in the region, and it also supports the broader Brazilian grid, especially during periods of high demand. While it has been crucial for economic development in the region, the construction of it has been one of Brazil's most controversial projects. Flooding from the reservoir destroyed large sections of rainforest, resulting in habitat loss and changes to local biodiversity. The creation of the lake also altered the river flow patterns and affected fisheries that local communities relied on for subsistence. Over the years, there's been ongoing debates about whether the economic benefits have outweighed those environmental costs. Its consistent output supports both industrial and residential needs, and the facility is a major contributor to Brazil's predominantly renewable electricity mix. Efforts have been made to improve its management in the area, but the dam's legacy continues to be a mix of engineering achievement and ecological transformation. Moving on to number 7, the Grand Coulee Dam. The Grand Coulee Dam, located on the Columbia River in Washington state, is the largest power plant in the U.S. by capacity and one of the largest concrete structures. It's got a total installed capacity of about 6,800 megawatts, generated by 3 separate powerhouses. Construction of it began in 1933 during the Great Depression as part of the New Deal's public work program. The original structure was completed in 1942, and it was later expanded in the 1970s and 80s with the addition of the third power plant. The dam is a massive concrete gravity structure, standing 168 meters high and stretching about 1,600 meters across the Columbia River. The 3 powerhouses together contain 33 hydroelectric generators, and that third power plant alone houses 6 of the largest generators in the world at the time of their installation, each rated at more than 800 megawatts. One of the dam's key roles is providing reliable, low-cost power to support the region's aluminum industry, agricultural pumping systems, and municipal needs. It supplies electricity to the Bonneville Power Administration's transmission network, which serves multiple states. The dam created Franklin D. Roosevelt Lake, a reservoir stretching 240 kilometers upstream, and this has enabled irrigation for more than 2,600 square kilometers of farmland, transforming parts of central Washington into highly productive zones. However, the reservoir's creation also flooded Native American lands, fishing grounds, and settlements, leading to the displacement of communities and the loss of salmon spawning habitats. Number 6. The Sayano-Shushenskaya Dam. The Sayano-Shushenskaya Dam is the largest power plant in Russia and one of the biggest hydroelectric stations in the world. It's located on the Yenisei River in Siberia, and it's got an installed capacity of about 6,400 megawatts. This facility is a key power source for Siberia's industrial sector. Construction of the dam began in 1963, and it took nearly 2 decades, with the station reaching full operation by 1985. The dam is a concrete arch gravity design which stands about 240 meters tall and stretches 1,000 meters across the river gorge. It was designed and engineered to handle the enormous hydrostatic pressure of the river while taking advantage of the narrow valley. The 10 generating units produce an average of about 23 terawatt-hours of electricity each year, and the power generated is transmitted over high-voltage lines to both industrial and residential consumers across the Siberian region. In 2009, the facility did suffer a catastrophic accident when a turbine failure led to flooding in the engine room, killing 75 people and damaging much of the station's equipment. The disaster required a massive reconstruction effort with new turbines, upgraded safety systems, and reinforced structural components installed over the next several years. By 2014, the plant had returned to full operation. However, like many large dams, it's altered the river ecology and fish migration patterns, and its remote Siberian location and challenging climate make maintenance a significant task, but the station remains critical to Russia's energy grid. Number 5. The Longtan Hydroelectric Dam. The Longtan Dam, that's fun to say, is one of China's most important and largest hydropower stations. It's located on the Hongshui River, and it's a key part of China's long-term plan to harness the hydropower potential of the river. Now, the Hongshui River is a tributary of the Pearl River and was identified decades ago as an ideal location for a large-scale hydropower project. And this project was a part of a multi-dam cascade development plan designed to maximize the electrical output of the river system while providing flood control. Construction began in 2001 following years of feasibility studies. The structure is a concrete gravity dam, and it's notable for being one of the tallest of its kind, with a height of over 216 meters. Its crest length measures about 850 meters, and it's built across a narrow gorge. The dam contains 9 generating units, each with a capacity of 700 megawatts, for a total capacity of over 6,300 megawatts. By 2009, the first generating units began producing electricity, and the entire facility was completed and fully operational by 2010. One of the major functions of the dam, beyond the power generation though, is flood control. The river has a history of seasonal flooding that can impact downstream cities and agricultural land. The reservoir here has a total storage capacity of about 27 billion cubic meters, and conversely, during dry seasons, the stored water can be released to maintain the river. Over 80,000 people were relocated from areas that would be submerged by the rising water. The government had implemented compensation and relocation programs, and while official reports emphasize improved living conditions in resettled areas, some relocated residents have expressed concerns. The Longtan Dam project is also notable for its role in China's shift towards cleaner energy sources. For China, which has been heavily reliant on coal for decades, the expansion of large hydro facilities like this one are a step towards reducing carbon intensity in its power sector. Today, the Longtan Hydroelectric Dam is integrated into a series of hydropower projects along the Tucuruí River, forming a part of a coordinated cascade system. Number 4. The Jinping-I Hydropower Station. The Jinping-I Hydropower Station is located on the Yalong River in the autonomous prefecture in Sichuan Province, China. It stands out not only for its size, but its geological challenges that were overcome during its development. The Yalong River, which is a major tributary of the Jinsha River, itself part of the Yangtze system, flows through steep gorges and mountainous terrain, which creates significant potential for hydropower. Construction began in 2005 after extensive feasibility studies. The project was developed by Yalong River Hydropower Development Company Limited and was part of China's East-West Power Transmission Initiative, which aims to generate electricity in resource-rich western provinces and transmit it to industrial and population centers in the east. The dam itself is extraordinary. It's a double-curvature concrete arch dam that stands over 300 meters tall. This makes it the tallest dam of its kind in the world, surpassing other large dams like the ones in Switzerland and Tajikistan. Its crest length is about 560 meters, and it takes advantage of the narrow gorge to use the natural strength of the surrounding mountains to hold back the water. The Jinping Reservoir behind the dam has a total storage capacity of about 7.7 billion cubic meters. The water stored here is used to power 6 generating units, each with a capacity of 600 megawatts, giving the station a total installed capacity of 3,600. In addition to the dam and the powerhouse, the project included the construction of extensive transport infrastructure. Workers faced challenging conditions, working in an area with limited existing infrastructure, and required the establishment of temporary living quarters, workshops, and supply depots. The whole station became fully operational in 2014, and its average annual generation is about 16 terawatt-hours. The reservoir creation also required the relocation of communities and living areas that would be submerged, and thousands of residents were moved to newly constructed settlements, and as in other resettlement cases, the outcomes have been mixed. While some relocated individuals have benefited from improved housing and services, others have faced challenges in finding livelihoods and maintaining cultural ties. Economically, the hydropower station here has been a major driver for the region. The construction provided thousands of jobs, it boosted local businesses, supplied materials and services, and improved the infrastructure like roads and communications. Post-construction, the steady supply of electricity has helped fuel industrial development. In the broader context of China's energy strategy, the Jinping-I plays a significant role. Facilities like it help balance the grid and reduce reliance on coal, thereby contributing to China's climate goals. Number 3. The Robert-Bourassa Generating Station. The Robert-Bourassa Generating Station, located in northern Quebec, is one of the largest hydropower plants in the world and the single biggest in Canada. It forms part of Hydro-Quebec's massive James Bay project. This is an ambitious development scheme that's transformed the province into one of the largest producers of renewable energy on the planet. With an installed capacity of 5,600 megawatts, it's not only a cornerstone of Quebec's energy system, but also a key supplier to power markets in Ontario, the northeastern United States, and beyond. The station sits on the La Grande River, a waterway that flows into James Bay. The location was chosen in the early 1970s after studies identified the enormous potential of the river and its tributaries. Construction began in 1974, under what was then the largest civil engineering project ever undertaken in North America. The scale of the work here was staggering. The project required diverting rivers, building multiple dams, and creating one of the largest reservoirs in the world. The heart of the facility is its main dam and the adjacent generating station, which is entirely underground. The dam itself is an earth-filled embankment structure standing 162 meters high and stretching 2,800 meters across. The enormous cavern housing the generators is 480 meters long, 53 meters high, and 33 meters wide, large enough to fit a 50-story office building laid on its side. This powerhouse contains 16 turbine generator units, each with a capacity of 350 megawatts. The reservoir that feeds the plant, known as the Robert-Bourassa Reservoir, is immense, covering roughly 2,800 square kilometers. It was created by flooding large areas of boreal forest, muskeg, and river valleys, which was a process that required extensive planning and coordination. Hydro-Quebec's integration of Robert-Bourassa into the broader system is a model of large-scale management. This plant is part of a cascade of generating stations along the river, with upstream reservoirs regulating the flow to optimize generation downstream. The remote location required building roads, airstrips, and worker camps to support thousands of laborers. The town of Radisson, established during the construction, remains as a small but vital service hub for the region. During peak construction, more than 7,000 people were on site, operating heavy machinery, drilling tunnels, pouring concrete, and assembling the turbines. In recent years, Hydro-Quebec has invested in modernization programs at Robert-Bourassa to ensure its continued operation well into the 21st century. Turbine upgrades, improved control systems, and enhanced monitoring have all been implemented. While the core civil structures, the dam and the powerhouse, were designed for long service lives, mechanical and electrical components require periodic replacement and refurbishment. Number 2. The Xiangjiaba Hydropower Station. The Xiangjiaba Hydropower Station is one of the largest power plants in the world and a critical component of China's huge network of renewable energy infrastructure. With an installed capacity of 6,400 megawatts, this one plays an important role in reducing coal dependency and supporting China's long-term transition. After extensive surveys and feasibility studies, the Chinese government approved the project in the early 2000s as part of the country's west-to-east electricity transmission strategy. That was the policy that aimed to harness the abundant hydropower potential of Western China to meet the electricity demands of the densely populated eastern zones. Construction officially began in 2006. Building a project of this scale required significant coordination. New roads were constructed to bring in heavy equipment, huge amounts of concrete had to be transported to the site, and thousands of workers were housed in purpose-built facilities near the dam. Now, this is a concrete gravity dam, a massive solid structure that uses its own weight to resist the force of water. The dam stands about 160 meters high and extends over 900 meters across the river. At full capacity, the dam's reservoir stretches over 150 kilometers upstream and holds about 5 billion cubic meters of water. The station contains 8 main generating units, each rated at 800 megawatts, making them among the largest hydro generators in operation anywhere in the world. These units are housed in an above-ground powerhouse located on the left bank of the dam, and in addition to the main turbines, the station has 2 smaller generators of 50 megawatts each for supplying electricity to the plant's own operations. The first of the main generating units entered operation in October of 2012, and the last was commissioned in July of 2014, marking the completion of the project. A significant portion of this electricity is transmitted over ultra-high voltage direct current lines to Shanghai, and more than 1,900 kilometers away. That highlights the plant's role in integrating China's power grid over huge distances. The project has not been without controversy, though. The creation of the reservoir required the relocation of more than 60,000 people from riverbank communities, and while the government provided compensation, new housing, and infrastructure, the social and cultural impacts of displacement remain significant. Economically, the project has delivered substantial benefits. The construction phase generated thousands of jobs and boosted local economies through demand for goods, services, and raw materials. And in the context of China's broader strategy, the dam represents a step towards a cleaner and more balanced energy mix. This is particularly important as China has committed to peaking its carbon emissions before 2030 and achieving carbon neutrality by 2060. While the plant's operational performance has been strong since commissioning, ongoing maintenance and modernization is essential for long-term reliability. Given the dam's importance to their national grid, any significant outage would have wide-reaching effects, so operational resilience is a top priority. Number 1. The Baihetan Hydropower Station. The Baihetan Hydropower Station is currently the second largest hydroelectric power plant in the world by installed capacity, surpassed only by China's 3 Gorges Dam. It's part of China's massive effort to expand renewable energy generation and improve regional energy security. With a total installed capacity of 16,000 megawatts, Baihetan's output is generated by 16 turbines, each rated at 1,000 megawatts. At full operation, the plant is expected to generate more than 62.4 terawatt-hours of electricity annually. Construction of Baihetan began in 2017 under the leadership of China Three Gorges Corporation. The Jinsha River in this area flows through deep gorges and mountainous terrain, which offers a high hydraulic head and a reliable water flow. The dam itself is a double curvature arch design, which stands about 290 meters tall and stretches over 700 meters across the gorge. Arch dams are particularly efficient in narrow canyons, as they transfer the immense water pressure into the surrounding rock, which reduces the volume of concrete required. The structure creates a large reservoir with a total storage capacity of about 20 billion cubic meters, extending upstream for over 200 kilometers. Each 1,000 megawatt unit represents a leap in hydropower engineering, incorporating advanced design to maximize its efficiency. These turbines were produced entirely in China, marking a milestone in domestic manufacturing capability for large-scale hydro equipment. Despite the engineering triumphs, though, it's faced some environmental and social challenges. The creation of the reservoir required the relocation of more than 100,000 people from riverbank communities, and the Chinese government has implemented relocation programs that include new housing, infrastructure, and compensation. From an operational standpoint, it's designed for reliability. The power output can be adjusted rapidly to meet fluctuations in demand, and making it a valuable balancing resource for integrating intermittent renewable energy sources. Baihetan plays a key role in China's broader hydropower cascade along the river. It works in coordination with other major stations to optimize water usage and maximize its efficiency. In the global context, it stands as a benchmark for modern hydropower development. As of its commissioning in 2021, Baihetan has solidified China's position as the world leader in large-scale hydropower. Its long-term legacy will depend on how effectively it can operate within the environmental limits, maintain its safety and efficiency over decades, and adapt to changing climate and energy demands. What is clear is that Baihetan is not just a dam, it's a pillar of China's renewable energy strategy, and one of the most ambitious hydropower projects ever completed.